This is an Azorious build based on cards that came in the two battle packs for which I've shown videos elsewhere. Uh, Luckily, when you add 4 booster packs and the 4 selections that come with the battle packs, and 2 of them were Azorious, you actually can select things out if you're doing a 40 card build. The numbers that I try to use are 17 creatures, 6 other spells, and 17 lands. But in an Azorius build, because it's got blue, I'm not sure that I would go all the way to 17. I think I've got 25 total creatures. So I'm going to pick a bunch of creatures first, then run through the sorceries, the instants, and the enchantment auras, and maybe go back and weed out a couple of creatures. I think these are keepers because these are at the lower range. I don't really have any 1-drops, but I'll keep these, I think. New Craft Guildmage. It's got a double usage. The Guildmages in Return to Ravnica are all like that. And the Azorious one looks like a very playable card with a single white, single blue. You can give flying to one of your creatures until end of turn, and then if you've got all of 5 total mana, you can detain a target non-land permanent. Very useful because you can't do anything until the next turn. You kind of slow down your opponent with it. Azorious Arrestor, of course, follows up on that because it also detains, and it does so when it enters the battlefield. So I think these 4 cards are keepers for this 40 deck build. Fencing Ace has double strike and it's a 2-drop. Keening Apparition is also another 2-drop. And if you destroy it, if you sacrifice it, you can destroy a target enchantment. That may or may not be useful, but a 2-drop 2/2 is not that bad. And then Fencing Ace, of course, if it's got double strike, it's really a 2 for 2/1 when you actually play it. So I think these are keepers that I'm not going to take out. So there's 6 creatures in the build already. Then as I start going up, Concordia Pegasus, it's got flying, but it's very low powered. So I'm going to have it as a maybe. And Seller of Songbirds, I'm going to also keep it as a maybe. It does drop a token, but it's more like a Selesnya build card. So I'm not going to pick these outright. I'm still going to stick to those 6 other creatures that I picked. Then when you start talking about 3-drops, Vassal Soul, it's really good. Hybrids are very playable because you can choose white or blue. So I'm going to want to keep those 2 cards, and they have flying. Tower Drake has a white ability where it gets +0/+1 until end of turn. So you're really dropping 4 mana on a creature that is 2/2. That sounds alright, but I'm going to leave it as a maybe. So I'm going to put it in the pile of maybes, and then Vassal Soul is going to go into definitely. Then I've got Phantom General, where your creature tokens you control get +1/+1. It's a shame that I've got 3 because this is not a token deck, it's an Azorius deck. I'm not quite sure what to do with these cards. And then in the case of the 3 Armory Guards, it's got Vigilance as long as you control a gate. I can manage that. It's a 4-drop for 2/5. It will be coming rather late in the game. I'm going to put it in the maybe pile. And I'm also going to put Phantom General in the I'm not sure pile, maybe not. Then we've got Soul Sworn Spirit. And we've got Skymark Rock. And in this case, I think Soul Sworn Spirit is pretty good. It's unblockable, but it's a heavy drop at 4. When it enters the battlefield, though, it detains a target creature. I like that. I'm keeping detain. Okay, Soulsworn Spirit, I think you're in. And then in the case of Hussar Patrol, it's got Flash, something that I usually associate with red decks. It's a 4-drop 2/4. I think in a limited environment, I can't be too picky, so I'm going to pick it for now. And then in the case of Skymart Rock, it's got flying. It's a 4/3/3. I'm going to keep these two as well. So these are going in my must-have pile. And then Isperia Skywatch is just plain gigantic. I'm not sure what I can do with it. Let's look at it for a little bit. Maybe I'll convince myself that I need it. So when it enters the battlefield, it detains target creature. I'm going to put it in the maybe pile because it's got 6. But I like that. I really like that. Then we're going to have Search Warrant, which is my only sorcery that I have. And then I'm going to start running through the instance. I think in the case of Search Warrant, I like it. It's a 2-drop sorcery. Target player reveals his or her hand. It's not one of those 3-drops that I've seen in black. So that's not too bad. And you gain life. I think I like it. I'm going to put it in the... I'm going to pick these. So there's 3 there. And then, obviously, if I'm playing blue in an Azorious deck, I'm going to need some sort of a cancel, some sort of a card to counter, a counter card. And that's what I have. I have 3 of cancel. They're a little heavy, but I think they're like necessary in this type of a deck. So I'm going to keep these. Then when we start talking about Swift Justice, it's a 1-drop instant. That's pretty quick. I actually have a full playset from this selection. Until end of turn, target creature gets +1/+0 and gains first strike. That's not too bad. I think I'm going to keep these 4. Then I've got Trostani's Judgment, which is very heavy. It exiles and then populates, clearly a selesnya feature. Ice in the Sky also drops a token, clearly a selesnya feature. These are in the out pile. Then when I run through the enchantments, I've got a 3 of Ethereal Armor, a very useful card, and I'm going to say that it is in. In the case of Chronic Flooding, which I have 3 of as well, Chronic Flooding enchants a land, and when the enchanted land becomes tapped, its controller puts the top 3 cards of his library or her library into the graveyard. So it's got a little milling bonus in there. I think these are both cards that are keepers in their current in the current build. So there you have it. I have 6 enchantments that I think I want to use. And then, of course, the last 2 enchantments. I think I'm going to play Martial Law, even though it's a 4-drop. In the case of Knightly Valor, it's a little heavy at a 5-drop. Drops a token. Now, you can use it if you have Populate. I'm going to stay away from it. Put it in the not so good pile. So if I go back through the cards that I said I would pick, I've got these cards. So that's 2 creatures, 3, 4, 5 creatures, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, and 13. That's 13 creatures so far. So I think 13 is fine for an Azorious, so I'll leave it at that. These I think are what I consider good choices. I said 13, right? So let me keep that in mind. Then when I put in the 3 sorceries, I'm up to 16 cards. So I've got 7 more to pick from. So really the selection will come down to instants and enchantments. I really want to pick, of all these cards, I really want to pick Ethereal Armor. So I've got 4 more to go from the remaining cards. I gotta have some sort of a cancel in here. So I'm gonna leave myself 2 more. And I think I'm gonna use really light instants. Which means that even if the ones that I thought I would put, these other cards did not make it, just because they're a little too heavy for a 40 card, especially martial law. I mean, I don't know, it's a 4-drop. So I'm going to say that this is actually the deck. So I'm going to run through it very quickly. 2 of Swift Justice, that's 2 cards. 2 of Cancel, that's 4. 3 Ethereal Armor, that's 7. 3 Search Warrant, that's 10. 11. 12. 14. 15. 17. And 22. I think I dropped another card in there somewhere. I thought I had 2 of the new Craft Guildmage. So I think it's really 2 of those.